Hello hedgehogs and badgers, welcome to literacy again. I hope you enjoyed yesterday's video all about the beginning of Jack and the Beanstalk story. So in yesterday's video we were learning all about how to use adjectives to help describe our dream meal. And today we're going to be doing another activity tied to the story of Jack and the Beanstalk. Before we get going on today's activity, I would like you to go and watch episode 2 of Jack and the Beanstalk on BBC. We sent a link to this video on your learning letter, and I will also include a link in the description box below taking you to that episode. So pause this video, go and watch episode 2 and come back when you're ready. Okay, hopefully now everyone's had a chance to watch episode 2 of Jack and the Beanstalk on BBC. Today what we are going to be doing, let's have a look at what our WALT says. We are learning to write a diary entry to explain how Jack feels about selling Daisy. So by this point, now that you've watched episode 2, you will have learned a little bit more about Jack and about his wonderful cow called Daisy. So in the episode we just watched just now, Daisy obviously is a very special cow because she provides Jack and his mother with milk to drink. But not only does Daisy provide milk, she also feels like a friend for Jack. Jack lives in a very small village where there aren't any other children around, so Daisy is kind of like a friend for Jack. He goes and milks Daisy every day. He takes his wooden pail and he milks her so that he and his mum can drink the milk. But every day, the cow Daisy produces a little less milk every day. So it's a bit worrying for Jack and his mum because now they've got no food in the house, as we discovered in yesterday's episode. They've got no money, and now they've got no milk. And that's very worrying because milk is very important for us because drinking milk helps keep our bones strong and our teeth strong. So what are they going to do? Now Jack's mum says that the only thing they can do is they're going to have to sell Daisy. Now, Jack is really sad about the idea of selling Daisy because Daisy isn't just any old cow, Daisy is his friend. So today we are going to be writing a diary entry, pretending to be Jack, writing in his diary at the end of the day about how he feels about having to sell Daisy. So, before we get going on that, I want you to have a think about what is a diary entry. It's something that we have written before, although it was a while ago, so you might have forgotten. A diary entry is a little book that you might keep in your bedroom, and you might do nice pictures in it, you might do a little bit of writing, but it's for you to read, and you write in it maybe every day or so, just about how your day was and how you're feeling. So that's what we're going to do today. Before we do our big diary entry, we are going to be doing exactly what we did yesterday, and we are going to create a word bank with some helpful words that will help us with our diary entry. So, this word bank we're going to fill with words to describe how Jack is feeling about having to sell Daisy. How would you feel if you were Jack? Let's try and imagine if we were Jack right now, how would we be feeling? Maybe you might have a cat or a dog at home, a special pet that you really love spending time with. Imagine if they were your only friend. Imagine if you lived in the middle of nowhere and you didn't see other children and this pet was so special. How would you feel if your mum or your dad told you that pet was going to have to go away? I'd be feeling very upset. So let's think of some words. Just like yesterday, I would like you to try and say these words out loud, and I'm going to try and hear you and write them down in our special word bank. So let's give this a go. I'm going to write, If I had a pet and I was told that I had to sell it, I'd be feeling really sad. So we all know how to write sad. It's exactly how it sounds. D. I'd be feeling sad. I'd be feeling really sad. I might be feeling a little bit confused. So confused is when you're not sure about something or you don't really understand why something is happening. Confused. Used. Confused. Why are we having to sell Daisy? Is there no other way? He's feeling confused. He might be feeling... What else? Can you think of some more words that you can shout to me? Oh, I've got a good one here. Go. Guilty. Now, guilty is maybe if you've done something which you know you really shouldn't do. Maybe you've been a bit unkind to your brother or your sister and then you're feeling bad because they're sad about it now. Maybe Jack might be feeling guilty about the idea of selling Daisy. Daisy might not understand. Why are you selling me, Jack? He's feeling guilty about it. He might be feeling, or what other words do we have? A very powerful word, this one. I feel terrible. I feel terrible about selling Daisy. I feel really, really bad about it. I feel what's this word? Scared. Jack might be feeling scared about selling Daisy the cow, perhaps because he's not sure whether the new owners might be as kind as Jack and his mum. Maybe he's scared because he doesn't know where he's going to get any more milk or food from. He's feeling scared. Have we got the words? What other words can you think of? How else might you feel if your pet got taken away from you? If you're all by yourself, what's that word I'm trying to think of? Begins with a L. And then we've got our split digraph there. O and E make the O sound. Lone. Lonely. If you're all by yourself and you've got no one to play with, you might be feeling lonely. Jack might feel lonely if the cow gets taken away. You might feel worried. You might be feeling worried about the cow going away. And then if you feel like crying about it, and you might have tears coming down your face, there's a specific word that we can use. You could use the word, I'm not sure if you've heard of this one, tear, full, tearful. I feel tearful about having to sell Daisy. You might feel like it's the end of the world. I feel hopeless. I feel hopeless. We've got lots of good words there, and I think these will really help us when it comes to doing our diary entry. So now let's move on to doing our diary entry. We're pretending to be Jack. It's the end of the day. Jack's mum's just told him we've got nothing else, we've got no choice, but we've got to sell our cow Daisy. And he goes to his bedroom and he's really sad and he decides to write in his diary. When we write a diary entry, we need to make a note of what the date is, that when we look back at the diary, we know when we wrote it. So I think most of you will be watching this video on Tuesday. So we need to write Tuesday. I hope you've been practicing writing your days of the week, making sure you're spelling that correctly. Remember, Tuesday, all days of the week, they begin with a capital letter. So it is Tuesday, the 28th, two little, the t and a, 28th of April. Again, months of the year, they have a capital letter. And then we can try and squeeze in the year there as well. Tuesday, 28th of April, 2020. You might be writing this on a different day. So check with your adult, what day of the week is it and what is the date. I'm writing this on Tuesday, the 28th of April, 2020. How do we start our diary entry? What do we need to write first? We need to tell the diary hello. So we could say hello diary, or a very popular way of starting a diary could be with these words here. Dear. Dear diary. Now, dear starts with a capital D because that's the beginning of our sentence. Then we've got our finger space, and then diary I've put with a capital letter. A diary is just a little book. Why have I written it with a capital letter? Have a think. Why might it be? We normally only use capital letters if it's the beginning of a sentence or if it's the name of someone. Now, my diary, that's the name of my diary, so I'm going to put it with a capital D. Dear diary, and then I'm going to put a little comma. Dear diary. And then we have given you, on your learning letter, a stem sentence, so a suggested way of beginning the sentence. I'm going to begin my sentence with tomorrow. Got a tricky word there. Tomorrow we have to. Tomorrow we have to. What does Jack have to do tomorrow? Think back to episode 2 of BBC. What is happening tomorrow? Well done to those of you who guessed it. Tomorrow we have to we have to sell Daisy. We have to sell Daisy. Daisy is the name of a little flower that you might find in the park, but I have put this with a capital D. Why have I put it with a capital D? Have a think. Because it's the name of a cow. And remember, when we're writing someone's name, just like that, we have to put a capital D. Tomorrow, we have to sell Daisy. And maybe the diary doesn't know who Daisy is, so maybe I might want to explain. We have to sell Daisy our remember, I'm using my phonics here. Cow. Tomorrow, we have to sell Daisy our cow. That's the end of my sentence, so I'm going to put my full stop. Each time I write one sentence, I check I've got my capital letters, my finger spaces, and my full stop. And then, once I've got all of that, I read it one more time. Dear diary, tomorrow we have to sell Daisy our cow. Now, our second sentence, we're going to write about how Jack feels. I don't want you to say Jack feels, we're pretending to be Jack, so we're going to say I feel, and now this is where our word bank of useful words comes in. I feel sad, I feel terrible, I feel tearful, I feel scared, I feel hopeless, I feel confused, I feel lonely, I feel guilty, I feel worried. All of those would make sense in this entry. I'm just going to choose 2. I'm going to say I feel worried. I feel worried and confused. I like this word. You can use any of these words in your diary entry, whichever ones you want. I feel worried and confused. Now we need to continue our sentence with our next sentence. Continue our diary. I, finger space, feel worried and confused. Full stop. I don't. When I write it like this, it means I've shortened I do not, I've pushed the words together and I've put an apostrophe. I don't want to sell Daisy. And now I'm going to use a really good word here, because we're going to explain to our reader why we don't want to sell Daisy. I don't want to sell Daisy because, what could I write in this gap here? Let's have some ideas. I can't hear anything. Have a think. I need your ideas, Badgers and Hedgehogs. I don't want to sell Daisy because, why wouldn't he want to sell Daisy? Because Daisy is a girl, I think, because she makes milk. Daisy, she is my friend. Or you could even say, because she is my only friend. I might squeeze that one in actually. She is my only friend, full stop. And then you're going to write a little plan about how you might try and keep Daisy. So, I have a plan to try and keep And then I'm running out of space on my board, but hopefully on your pieces of paper, you can tell me what your plan is to try and keep Daisy. Perhaps you might try and sing to your cow to try and get her to make more milk. You might try and find some special medicine for Daisy to try and help her make more milk. Or you can, there could be all sorts of things you could do. So try and use your imagination. Think of different ways Jack might try and keep his cow. Maybe he can persuade his mum to let him keep the cow, even if she isn't making more milk. And then at the end of our diary entry, we're going to say goodbye. So I'm going to just put from Jack. And that is the end of our diary entry. So, Badgers and Hedgehogs, your challenge is to try and do at least 3 sentences of your diary entry about telling your reader, tomorrow we have to sell Daisy. Then I want you to explain, using some of these words or some of your own if you've got others, how you feel about the idea of selling Daisy. And perhaps, if you're feeling really ambitious, your challenge is to explain to your reader what your plan is to try and keep Daisy. Then you can sign off. Remember, you're pretending to be Jack, from Jack. And once you've had a go at this, I would love it if at some point this week your parents can take a picture of your work. You can even draw a picture here as well. You can draw Daisy the cow, and then your parents can take a picture and they can send it to me and Mrs. Ahmed Banks via email, because we would love to see your work. Good luck, see you tomorrow.